With there being so many buyers in the market right now, I keep hearing horror stories of contracts falling through because buyers are so misinformed on so many levels. So I wanted to film this video to let you know the top 8 things not to do when buying a home. And we're going to get started right now. Wesley Croft with the Rooted Real Estate Group here in the Cleveland area. And as always, if you're looking to get more info about living, working, eating, playing, and yes, even what not to do when buying a home, then click the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you'll be notified every time I do a video like this. And we have people reaching out to us every day wanting to move within the Cleveland area or relocate to Cleveland, and we absolutely love it. And if that's you and you want to know more, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email so that we can help you find that perfect Cleveland home. Now, speaking of homes, one of the first things that we will have you do in the process is talk to a lender. Now, they'll want to get you pre-approved, and part of that process is looking at your income, your work history, and your credit. So they'll pull a hard hit on your credit report to see where you are credit-wise, and then at the end of the loan process, about 3 days before closing, the lender will perform another hard hit on your credit to make sure that everything's still okay. So all the things that we'll talk about in this video will be directly related to one of those things. So either your income, your work history, or your credit. And once you found the home of your dreams and you go into contract, here are our 8 big no-nos. So first up on our top 8 things not to do when buying a home is don't apply for credit cards. I know that it's like really tempting to save that 5% when you're at your favorite store and the cashier asks you if you want to open a credit card to save, just a little bit of money. I mean, you shop there all the time, right? So what could it hurt? Well, it could potentially hurt a lot. Opening a credit card can actually change what's called your debt to income ratio. Now, your DTI or debt to income ratio is the ratio of how much you bring in monthly versus how much you're paying out. So even though you're only opening a credit card and you promise, you'll pay it off before the payment's due, it still hits your credit. And that could affect you a lot more than you think. And speaking of credit cards, next up on our top 8 things not to do when buying a home is don't close any credit cards. Now you might be thinking, wait, so I can't open one or close one? I thought closing a credit card would look like a good thing, right? I know it's counterintuitive, but closing a credit card while you're waiting on your home loan to close could actually lower your credit score. Now that's especially if you're closing a card that you may have had for a while. It can negatively affect what's called your credit history. It also might change your DTI in a negative way as well. So just be cautious and always talk to your lender before doing something like closing a credit card. All right, so number 3 is don't fall behind on any payments. Now I know this likely goes without saying, but please make sure to keep up on all your payments. And yes, this includes your cable, your water, your power, so on and so forth. And if you've already got credit card payments that you're making, that's fine, as your lender would have already seen all that. But make sure you make those payments too, even if it's just the minimum payment. You can't afford to miss a payment at all on any of those things because any negative reporting on your credit report could be disaster if it happens while you're in contract. Number 4 on our list of the top 8 things not to do when buying a home is don't move money without a paper trail. Now I've seen a lot of first-time home buyers who don't quite have enough money saved up and they end up getting a gift from their parents or some other benevolent person. Now if this happens, it's totally fine if it does. Just make sure that there's a way for the bank to track it. Now essentially the bank wants to make sure that you're not getting money from someone for your down payment with the expectation that you'll have to pay that money back to them at some point. Now if you do give money that you don't have to pay back, like if they give it to you, just make sure that they write it to you, they wire it to you or write you a check. Do not let them just grab some cash from under their mattress or a can in the backyard and hand it to you to deposit into your account. The bank's not going to like that at all, and you'll have to account for those funds somehow, so you may as well do it right the first time. So number 5, and I've heard this happening so many times, is don't buy a car when you're under contract. Now I've said this before about the credit cards, but it hurts your DTI like you wouldn't believe. And I know people are thinking, oh, I need a new car to go with that new house, and the job is great, life is great, I need this car. But be that as it may, it can wait. I've heard of deals imploding at the last second because The lender sees the buyer on social media bragging about some new car that they just bought. Then the lender gives the agent a call and says, guess what? That's not a call anyone wants to make. So be patient and buy your new car once you close on your house. And number 6, along those same lines, is don't buy any new furniture. Now I know that you're thinking that's really not a big deal about buying furniture, especially when I'm paying cash, right? But we'll get to that in a second. But what I'm really referring to is going into these large furniture stores or warehouses and buying furniture for 0 money down or 90 days same as cash. Like, this goes on your credit report, and it's just like buying a new car or opening up a new credit card. Like, it's a big no-no, and it could affect your new loan and really your ability to afford your new home. So don't take that risk. Remember, all good things come to those who wait. It's not worth it, right? So hold off on any new purchases like that. Number 7 on the list of the top 8 things not to do when buying a home is don't change jobs. Now this has to do with the income portion of the loan like we were talking about at the beginning of the video. Most lenders want at least 2 years of employment history in the same industry. So if you're in contract on a new home and you get that new job offer, just ask them to let you wait until you close on your new home before you make the job move. If they want you to come work for them bad enough, guess what? They'll wait. I've heard of this happening as well, where people don't tell their agent or their lender for that matter that they're changing jobs, and it can wreak all sorts of havoc on a deal when that happens. And number 8 on the list of the top 8 things not to do when buying a home is don't spend your savings. Now this one happened to me personally as an agent. I had a couple whose home I sold. They were in contract to buy another home. They took the proceeds from their home sale and spent it on all sorts of random things like furniture and whatnot. And at the end of the transaction, I got a call from the lender saying, hey, guess what? The buyers don't have any money. So at the end, they had to scrape and scrounge just to get the funds together to close when they had plenty to work with once we closed on their house. So had they not been able to get the money together right at the end, they wouldn't have been able to close. So think about it. All the money that you've saved to buy a house, why would you spend it right before you actually close and use the money for the purpose that you saved it for, and that's to buy your home? So don't be that guy. Home buying is a lot of fun and it's really nerve-wracking, but find a good agent that can navigate you through all these waters and help you with these tips. As always, we're here to help in any way that we can, but for us to be able to help, you've got to reach out to us. So give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We've got your back when you're moving to the Cleveland area. Now, if you like this content and want to know more about what it's like to live in the Cleveland area, make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you'll be notified every time we do a new video like this. Take care.